Hey Braxton, how you doing this morning?
Good, good.
So, do you think you've created a quarterback controversy?
No, I don't think so. I think we got a good, plan with what we got going on now. So, whatever happens, happens in the next couple of weeks. I'll just be ready to go.
I think on social media they showed a clip. The person celebrating the most when you made that first down was, and when you scored on the touchdowns was Blake. How much does it hearten you that your biggest fan is your fellow QB?
Yeah, it's just a testament to, how close our quarterback room is. Me, Blake, Jackson, Trey, like we really, just bond together well. Like we always hang out with each other in the hotels before the games. We have group chats and stuff we text each other in. Like we're really supportive of each other. Whoever's in that first spot, we always want to see each other do well. And it just shows, when Blake's celebrating for me and when I'm doing the same thing for him when he's in.
So last week, Coach Newberry had mentioned the one thing he wanted you to work on was running between the tackles, lowering your pads, falling forward when instead of getting knocked backward. Do you think that run at the end where you picked up the first down was a kind of a answer to that as far as working on getting better in that regard?
Oh yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, I got a little help from the O lineman as well with the push. So, I guess it just all worked out. So I'd say so, yeah.
All right, I'll pass it off to Tim.
Yeah, go ahead.
Braxton, what was the most moving part for you of this year's senior speeches?
Just to hear how everybody talked about, just staying in the moment. Sometimes you go through the trials of the academy and you just want things to be over. You want to get to the next thing. But just really, they talked about just being in the moment, being here, just, embracing your role, whatever it is that you're doing. Just living in the moment and taking every opportunity that comes your way.
Why do you think that you have been so patient and able to embrace this opportunity and be ready when your number is called upon?
I really, I strongly believe in God's timing. I don't think that, you can force anything. I think whatever God has planned for you, that's what's going to happen. So I talk with my family a lot about stuff like that, and they just tell me, just to be patient. It's just a blessing to be here. That's kind of my mentality. Like, I'm just blessed to be here. I could have been somewhere else playing ball somewhere else, but I'm just happy to be here, happy to, be going through the things that I'm going through because, there's people that are less fortunate that aren't able to.
And then more of a QB X's and O's thing, but you and Blake have to hit the same mesh points when you guys are going through your veers. I imagine the timing's got to be a little different as you try and sync up with what Alex and Eli and Chad are used to. How do you make that happen on the fly when you have to be thrust into a game?
hmm Yeah, I think it's just because of practice. Sometimes Blake's in there with those guys, and then sometimes I have to get in there with them as well because in moments like that happened on Saturday, we got to be ready, and we can't. We got to fall back on our level of training. So I think that's what it was.
Thank you.
Braxton, yeah, your dad played at Auburn. You had an uncle and cousin played at Alabama. Have
Mhm.
they helped you in being patient as well, just with their experience, college football experience?
Yeah, I definitely say so. I mean they've been here, they've done what I've done. So I talk to my dad a lot, and he gives me his insight. And every now and then, my uncle will send me a text, or he'll talk to me through my dad, and he'll just tell me what he's thinking and things like that. So I definitely say it plays a part, just because of the aspect. They've been here before, and they know what it's like, to be a college football player.
And when Auburn and Alabama play, who do you root for?
Auburn all the way, or
Okay,
Eagle.
that's
Yeah,
what I
or
thought.
Eagle.
I just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Wags.
Coach Cronick has said that Blake is perfect for the offense in terms of what all of the skills he brings, and he's been what can you learn from Blake as you move forward next year with you likely to be the starting quarterback? What lessons can you take from Blake and apply next season?
Um, uh, we really just talk about being a four-dimensional player. And what that really means is just, just understanding your job, understanding the people's job around you. Also just understanding the play call and why the play is being called at a certain point in time, and what's our objective on every play, on every down. And I think Blake does a really good job with that. He kind of understands, what's the situation, what do we need to get, when to force a throw, when to, put a ball in a good spot, when to tuck it and run, things like that. So just understanding the offense, on that next level, to become exceptional. That's what I'm trying to get from him.
Can you talk about how monumental that win was on Saturday? I mean, there was so much on the line. I mean, it basically was an elimination game for the conference championship game. It's senior day. It's the final home game in Annapolis. I mean, just to me, that was such a clutch victory on so many levels. Can you talk about what it means and just how exciting it is to be able to pull that off?
Mm-hmm. It's huge. It's a really good feeling. But at the same time, it's just football. That was kind of what we were preaching before the game. It's just a football game. You go out there to have fun. You go out there to do it because it's fun. So especially in those moments, you don't want to make it bigger than what it is. You want to go out there and just execute like you've always been doing, the whole entire season. So yeah, that's kind of what our mentality was going into it. Obviously, we knew what came with it, but at the same time, it's just a football game, and we're excited just to get to play.
And can you talk about what that now sets up with this game against Memphis? Is really for all the marbles for Navy. You win, you have a chance to be in the American Championship game. Obviously losing, you're not. But can you talk about how this really sets up a humongous game next Thursday?
Yeah, it's going to be a very big game. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, nighttime game. So we're going to be prepared for it. We have the open week now, so we're going to prepare accordingly, get our bodies recovered and ready to go. But yeah, we're excited for the opportunity, excited for the challenge. We get to be in this opportunity, so we're excited for it.
One of the things the USF coach talked about after the game was the explosive plays and how you all had so many of them. I mean, you had the Alex Texa run, you had the long pass from Blake to Eli, your run. How uplifting is that when you're able to just, it's a home run hit in a way? How uplifting are those explosives?
Oh yeah, they're amazing because those are momentum shifters. Like they really, kind of can deplete a defense. So when we get those, we try to take advantage of them. We just try to keep the ball rolling, and then from there, build momentum for our side, and that definitely goes towards the defense as well, allows them to play better, so we can start playing complementary football.
Thanks, Braxton.
No problem.
Navy has 10 plays this year of 60 yards or more. That is the most in the country. Tim Nolan.
Braxton, Lake Brantley High School, just 90 minutes away from South Florida's campus. How special was that win this past Saturday for you personally?
Yeah, it was really cool because being down there in that area, I've obviously grown up watching a couple of USF games, going to the games and stuff like that. So just to be able to be on the field and ultimately come out with the win, it was definitely huge, especially for a lot of my friends back home. I was getting a lot of text messages.
What was that moment like for you, just embracing your family and friends after a performance like that on the national stage?
It's amazing. I really truly believe that I have like the best support system in the world. My family and friends, they really support me. They're always going to show up for me. So I really appreciate everything that they do for me. And I just try to go over there and show them as much, love and care as I can because, they're always there for me. So I try to return the favor.
Where would you say that you've grown the most outside of football as a midshipman in your time here at Navy?
I'd probably say in leadership, being thrusted into leadership positions, at the academy, going from a youngster mentor to a fire team leader, having two people under you outside of football, it's really impactful. Just learning how to communicate with people from different, places in the world. So it's just a really good opportunity, and I feel like that's where I've grown.
And in turn, how have you seen your leadership really blossom on the field?
It's definitely gone hand in hand. Obviously, playing better, making sure what I like to think about is, just making sure your grass is green before you try to correct anybody else. Obviously just playing better and, doing things like that has helped and people start to listen to you. And I feel like that's going to help our team grow.
Thanks, Braxton. Good talk to you.
Thank you.
Braxton, who else recruited you coming out of high school?
Um, Most of the Patriot League, obviously the other two service academies. Um, I was getting recruited by USF for a little bit before they had their whole coaching staff change, and that was pretty much about it.
And why did you choose Navy?
really just the people, the location, obviously the players. I feel like going on my visits and stuff like that, when I was able to just sit down with the players, they were real. They weren't trying to sugarcoat anything, and I was just excited, just to be able to get the opportunity to come be a part of something like that.
Thank you. Wags, did you have anything else?
Well, yeah, I mean, it seemed I'm hearing reports about USF being somewhat disrespectful to Navy. I heard that some of their players were telling recruits that they wanted to play real football, they should come down to Tampa. And I don't know if you've seen the Twitter of a USF player was doing a salute to Navy. I mean, how much does that motivate you when the opponent is doing things like that on the field?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of interesting because, we just worried about playing football, but it seems like they're worried about everything else. So, we just try to stay to us. We don't really worry about anything like that. Obviously, they're a good team. So we just try to, keep it in house and worry about what we have to do to win the football game.
Do you feel like, despite all the success of the last couple seasons, all the success really over a period of 20 plus years, Navy still does not get respect within the college football world?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's still a mystery to me why we don't. But at the same time, all we can do is just be as good as we can every week to week. Get 1% better every day, and then from there, whatever happens, happens. But I'm just worried about the guys in the locker room and doing everything we can to win on Saturdays.
Well said, Braxton.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Have a good
Yes,
day.
sir. You as well.
Tim, do you have anything else?
I'm all good. Appreciate you, Braxton.
Thanks,
All
Tim.
right. Thanks a lot, Braxton. Thanks,
See you,
No
Braxton.
problem.
everybody. We'll be back at 2 with Coach Cronick.